You cannot say, okay, winner takes all if I win, but if I lose, we go back to square one. We understood that the moment the Six-Day War ended in June 1967. We understood that, first of all, that gave us a moral right to control the country, because that is exactly the decision. The rules of the game were set by the Palestinians. Winner takes all is a Palestinian decision, not a Jewish or an Israeli one. There is this obsession that every conflict must have a solution. Well, it doesn't. Unfortunately, the conflict in the Middle East right now does not have a solution. I even heard a very intelligent person told me that the quest for a solution is the problem. Why? Because instead of trying to attain the unattainable, we could have diverted our efforts and our energy and our imagination to find ways to improve the situation on the ground. And that is feasible, that is attainable. And this land is ours, not because of the Palestinian attitude, but because of history. Because, you know, from here we see a stone well in which my forefathers pressed grapes 3,000 years ago. I am not a visitor or an intruder here. I am at my home, not only physically, but spiritually. This is my homeland. I think a status quo, a provisional status quo, I'm not illusioning myself, this is the final solution to the conflict. But a modus vivendi is emerging that is it can satisfy Israelis and Palestinians, make them live normal life, let them live normal lives. Now, does it provide for human rights as the Palestinians are entitled to? Yes, it will, I am sure about that. There are no apartheid roads in the West Bank, in Judea and Samaria. Roadblocks and checkpoints are nil now. Freedom of movement, dignity, etc., etc. Does it provide for the national aspirations of the Palestinians? No, it doesn't. I am aware of that. The typical settler is very similar to the typical Israeli. I would say, maybe surprisingly, with less prejudices than the average Israeli. You know that we have problems of racism against Israeli Ethiopians. We don't have it virtually in the settlements. And even towards the Arabs, because we live with them, I think we have less prejudices than the Israeli society.